Oh, okay. I saw it was loading and then it was not loading anymore. Hello, everyone. I hope your holiday season and new year was as great and awesome and entertaining to you as ours was. As I had a great new year. I spent most of the new year inebriated. I am back some. I am. I
Yes,
am
risen.
alive.
He is
He-
risen.
As you may or may not know, if I have a new job and it's been kicking my ass. So, but good news is, starting on Thursday, I will be streaming on a separate channel, a project with some of my friends, and then, but I will also be streaming. Um, so I'll be streaming on Twitch. I won't be on YouTube. I'll be on Twitch. It'll be under a different handle, so I will probably post a link in a community post sometime next week, so you can all come and hang out with me. I'll be on from 2 to 4, or just as normal. Hi, Task. But it, that is not what today's task is. Today's task is to, as 2024, as the week of 2024 opens with a judge being assaulted by a random man, and um, the director of, what movie is it? Oh, it's like the director of the new Ray film that we're going to get. It says she likes to make men uncomfortable out of context. All take a moment to rest on our to have our laurels, to have our cake and eat it too, and take a little bit of a victory lap because damn, did Hollywood have a bad year. Oh my god, I have been trying to fix this shit all day. Can we please?
So, Clayton, did you see any movies last year?
Um, the question isn't, so did I see any movies last year? I did. I saw one movie. Care to guess what it was?
Um, Mission Impossible.
No, it was not.
That was actually really good.
It was not Mission Impossible. It was actually a movie that came out early in the year, and I have a video about it on our YouTube channel. I've not seen Godzilla minus one Hunter, but I have heard good things, and I think Caesar, you told me you saw it, right?
No, I haven't seen it. I want to though. I might just wait for the DVD.
Hmm. But it was D&D Honor Among Thieves, which,
Oh, wait, that came out last year.
yeah,
I thought that was the year before.
I thought it was 2022 too, but apparently time is weird. So hold on. Yeah, 2023.
Oh, Christ, time does fly.
March 31st. And I believe it outgrossed at the time Guardians of the Galaxy in its opening weekend. And but yes,
So
I
they're. Oh,
some I have some I have criticisms of it, but overall I'd say it's probably one of the best movies to have come out this year, or in 2023, because it's actually entertaining to watch. But uh, shall we talk about how 2023 began?
Yes, let's.
It began, of course, with Marvel. Oh,
Yeah,
and Ant-Man Quantumania.
I had absolutely no desire to see this movie.
Ditto. Well, not only the intro to Phase 5, the thing that's supposed to set up, you know, be the starting point for so many other things. Like this is supposed to start the through line for or the rest of Phase 5. And what we got was this. And socialist stance, but like moralizing socialist stance. Hence, and a disappointing box office in which the film did not break even. There are a couple of other things from the snips like that in this slideshow. This is the only one that doesn't say what the net loss for the company was, but I'm sure it's bad. Everything I have seen about it, Task, everything I've read and seen about it, Task, because I haven't actually seen this movie, is that it's not very good.
Yeah, all I have to go by are the reviews by Mahler and Braden Alberti,
Mm-hmm.
which they both did really good in-depth reviews.
But of course, that wasn't the only thing that occurred. That wasn't the only thing that occurred er, during the course of the Quantumania run. And we also found out Jonathan Majors was a criminal who had beat up his ex-girlfriend. And Disney, doing the intelligent thing, promptly dropped him.
Yes, and then they also just dropped the character of Kang altogether.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So, yeah, Task, it came out, I think, like either late in December of 2022 or early in January 2023 that Jonathan Majors was arrested for he was arrested and going to be put on trial for the conviction that not the conviction harassment and assault of his ex-girlfriend. So yeah. Disney chooses. See, it seems that the people working at Disney reflect Disney's real values, which is utter complete selfishness to the point of destruction. But Disney wasn't the only company, but Disney he has their own still has another had yet another albatross to throw around its neck in the form of Miss Rachel Ziegler and the new Snow White remake. So you may notice there are two different pictures here, and or interestingly, two of them look very odd. So first of all, the Snow White remake is a remake nobody wants. Most people when upon hearing about that this was going to be a thing, immediately came forward and were like, "We don't want this." This. And then of course the casting was announced and this picture came forward of Snow White and her seven magical and the seven magical creatures, I think it was. It
I
was
guess
like,
so.
yeah, it was like Snow White and the seven magical creatures, because Peter Dinklage came out and was like, why putting real life dwarves in Snow White is offensive.
Which all it tells me is that Peter Dinklage doesn't know what a dwarf actually is. Like, see, dwarves are not actually supposed to be like little people. A dwarf is like a spirit from Germanic folklore.
There are people with dwarfism.
Yes, but they're not named. They're named after the mythical dwarf.
Yeah, but of course, when this photo came out, it was soundly mocked by the internet. And I suspect that when this image does finally make its way through the proper channels, so too will this one. Because instead of getting real people, we're just gonna make them puppets.
Yeah, did they just I think they just CGI'd over the actual actors.
I don't know. This guy looks like a puppet. Like, look at his legs.
Yeah, I've seen that picture around. I don't know, but I never actually saw if that was actually from an official source or not.
I think it's from the trailer.
There's a trailer.
I'm pretty sure there's a trailer. Hold on.
I've never heard of
I
a
thought I
trailer.
saw a trailer when I was looking. It was when I was putting this slide together.
Is a trailer from Disney's official YouTube account. Because there's a lot of fake trailers on YouTube where people will just splice footages from different movies together and with a fake narrator.
Hold on. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So then I have to assume that this image is probably fake. Probably. I can't. And it might be real, but it might also be fake, because I'd believe it. Disney has produced things of poor enough quality in the past 3 years that I would say that this is entirely possible that we could see this. I mean, to be honest, I would go see the movie to watch these seven dudes, like, just to watch how horrifying they are.
Yes.
But of course, the fact that the Snow White remake was being made wasn't the only problem people had with the movie. They also had to hire the most arrogant and, well, stupid actress they could to play the main character. Let's go through some of her highlights, shall we?
Yes, let's.
We're not going to do the full 10 minutes.
I mean,
I promise.
the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a
Yeah, it came out in 1937 when animation was still considered a, like, fad. And then Disney was like, you know what? We're gonna do a whole last feature film. Whole last feature film. We're gonna revolutionize the animation and the industry of animation, how animation is done, how movies and stories are told with this one film. And now, what is it? 50 years later, almost 100 years later.
Yeah, yeah, like 90.
Yeah, like 90, somewhere in there, or high almost 100 years. We have Miss Rachel Ziegler, who's at best a 3, On her best day is probably a 5. He's saying, oh, it came out in a time that wasn't this time.
Yes, it's now problematic.
Big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but I don't remember him ever actually stalking her.
I don't think he does. I think like, she goes.
Yeah, she's singing to herself and a bunch of animals at a well, and the prince just happened to be in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and she runs from him because she's like, oh, I'm in fucking rags. Like, to draw comparison that Rachel Ziegler might understand. See, when this man walks up to her house, and hears her singing and goes and investigates, it's they sing together, and then she realized then she comes to her senses and realize she is in her actual pajamas, not in, oh, I have company coming over, but I don't want to appear like I put in effort pajamas. No, she is looking frumpy by her standards, of course. For the time period, I'd say Snow White actually in the maid's outfit looks very pretty. But
So we didn't do that this time.
So no
Hold on.
prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Celebrity Expert, your number one source for all things TV shows and celebrities. And
Is that the
I'm
person?
guessing that's the YouTuber, so we
Okay.
will cut that off there. But consider for a moment, by the way, I just want to point this out, and I know it's been pointed out, but it bears repeating. So Rachel Ziegler has been chosen to play Snow White. Gal Gadot has been chosen to play the Evil Queen.
Yes, the much more attractive character is somehow jealous of the least attractive one.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Although I think it was intentional because the Evil Queen doesn't have too many lines in the original, so they don't really have to expand her character too much, which means Gal Gadot doesn't have to talk a lot. And I don't mean this as like, oh, pretty women shouldn't talk. No, I don't think I've seen Gal Gadot clips of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in other media. She's not that good an actress, I don't think. Like, in my opinion, she's not a great actress. She's very, very wooden in her delivery and how she handles things.
Yes. Also the casting is, I guess we should also bring up the casting choices.
Oh yeah, the race swapped casting, which
Yes.
would not be the only time that this would occur in 2023.
Yeah. So like, I know some people will bring up that her race doesn't really define who she is, but in the case of Snow White, yeah, it fucking does. Like this, first of all, this is like Germany during the Middle Ages. Also, her name is Snow White. She's named after the color of her skin. She has skin white as snow.
Hair is hair is black as coal and lips as red as rose, right?
Yeah, I think so. And also, you made the villain Jewish.
Oh yeah, so task. I will be live on Twitch. It'll be for a different channel. I'm helping a friend with a project. So I will be live on Twitch, just streaming for myself. On this coming Thursday. Hi, Moxie. This coming Thursday, I will be live on Twitch under, I believe it's the Twitch channel name is going to be BB35 Armada or something like that. I'll need to ask, but I'll be live on there. And then hopefully I'll be able to figure out when I can stream again, because hopefully I'm going to learn when I work from home, and on the days I work from home, I'll just get off work and stream. Yes, so I will be posting a link to that channel sometime this week through a community post. And just as a heads up, if you want to come and hang out come and hang out, that's perfectly cool. Well, I will let you know. This is for like a World of Warships clan. So if you're not interested in like watching the World of Warships gameplay, that's what the stream is going to be exclusively. But Rachel Ziegler, of course, hers wasn't the only example of race swapping we had this year, was it?
No.
There was, of course, Cleopatra.
Oh, that too.
Who, according to some lady's grandma, is black, despite almost several hundred years of research and an examination of text and first-hand accounts and interactions with her, and literal recorded interactions with her, and a bust that we digitally recreated the structure of her face. He's showing all that she wasn't black. She was very much black.
Yes, because that's how geography and migrational patterns work. Once you leave the borders of the African continent, your skin and facial features change.
Well, that's how the activists think it works.
Yeah, she's African, thus black.
It's not like Africa is a continent with nearly I think several million languages, several million individual dialects of languages, tribal boundaries, and families that have been there for hundreds of thousands of years potentially. Everyone's the same in Africa. They're all black.
Yes, Pan-Africanism. God, when I first learned about Pan-Africanism, it's such the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. It shows that people don't really know anything about African culture. Like, just the very idea of the idea of the black race, that is not something Africans came up with. That is something foreigners came up with. Because all throughout Africa, they would see each other as different races. Like, for example, back in the 90s, there was the genocide in Rwanda. That was an ethnic cleansing.
Exactly. But there was also The Little Mermaid, which I didn't put in the slideshow because I forgot about it and then remembered right before we started streaming. But there was also The Little Mermaid, which flopped. Which when people actually came and saw it and reviewed it, critics asked, if you're gonna have most of the movie be CGI, why'd you make the movie why'd you say it was live action? Because it has a real black person in it?
And I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and
And then, of course, speaking of things that were dead on arrival, like The Little Mermaid,
Ah, yes, the
Disney
Flash.
wasn't the only dumpster fire this year. DC fared no better
Hey,
because of the
hey,
Flash.
dude, that's a CW Flash you used. That's not from the
I
movie.
know, but both are equally terrible.
Well, CW has a slightly better Flash. Grant Gustin is at
Let's
least
be real.
charming.
Yes. Also, he's not been accused of multiple horrific crimes. A movie so dead on arrival thanks to accusation arrests and accusations of Ezra Miller of grooming, abuse, and erratic and disturbing behavior, much of which was some of which was actually caught on fucking film. The Flash was dead on arrival. Everyone could see it, and even Michael Keaton couldn't save it. It grossing a mere $270 million. Here's losing Warner Bros. $200 million in the process.
So the movie doesn't even actually end with the continuity being rebooted, does it?
I don't think so.
It's so strange. Like, of all the Flash stories, the first one you adapt is Flashpoint. That's something you should do much later on in the series, because the original comic, that's when Barry discovers that the Reverse Flash is the one who responsible for killing his mother. So he goes back in time to stop it from happening, which then creates like a chain reaction where all these events happen differently. And so once Barry realizes he's the one responsible for creating this new timeline, he has to go back and stop himself from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess Dr. Manhattan created the New 52 continuity or some shit like that. Yes, Ahsoka, the show that completely ruined lightsabers.
So, you all may not know this because I ranted about it on stream like once. I forced myself through the majority of Ahsoka. So I forced myself to watch the majority of Ahsoka. And I have to be honest, this show made me mad. This show made me mad for Star Wars. It made me mad for us, for the character. It made me question Dave Filoni's work. Which is now I have to go back and rewatch the Clone Wars and try and see if if Dave Filoni is just a boring writer. Because because the best way to describe Ahsoka is how interesting do you find a block of wood? If you find blocks of wood to be fucking fascinating, Ahsoka is the show for you. If you want your block of wood to be able to do like an actual flip, well, so yeah. But that's only the show itself. What it did to the characters is a far greater crime. How Dave Filoni can take his own character that he created for the Star Wars universe, bring her into this new era of everyone has the Force, and then make her the most boring character in the show she's in, which is a hard bar to clear, by the way. How could you do that to your own character? It baffles me. But yes, this show made me mad. And that's impressive because I thought that my love for what Star Wars once was, this could no longer be affected by this. And yet it still got me. Also, everyone in the show's is a moron. From villain to hero, everyone is stupid, and there's no reason why they have to be.
Yes. Also, lightsabers don't do fatal blows anymore.
That's correct.
Sabine
They're
gets
just
stabbed.
light
with a
up
light-
sticks.
Yes, Sabine gets stabbed and she survives. Then it just makes you wonder, what did Qui-Gon do wrong?
Yeah, good, exactly. So, of course, halfway through the year, with roaring successes behind them, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The writers in Hollywood said, "We, the writers in Hollywood, who have produced gems like Willow, which was removed from Disney Plus after only 9 months. Gems like She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, which is somehow getting a second season. Shows like Velma that came out this year,
Oh,
or in 2023. For now, we are in 2023. Velma came out in 2023. Do you remember Velma, Caesar?
yes, we watched it. We also did a review on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. Absolutely,
It was awful.
a very spitefully induced show.
We, the writers of Hollywood, who have produced flop after flop and bomb after bomb of disappointing movie after disappointing movie, they want more money. Yeah. And I chose these signs because, first of all, there was an argument about AI and ChatGPT doesn't have childhood trauma. The most hilarious line of the strike. Honestly, they should have made this person the poster child of the strike. She should be speaking. I mean, because ChatGPT doesn't have her childhood trauma. Because writing for her isn't a matter of I have this need to create something. It's I want to whine about my hard life. And then I chose these three. I chose this one specifically. It just came with the other two. But the one on the left also illustrates my point. It says, "Are you not entertained? Pay writers." Interesting that they're not clever. I point out to these people are not coming up with their own slogans. They're using quotes from films that are infinitely better than anything they have produced.
Yeah, I just could not bring myself to care about the strike. I don't like corporations screwing over their employees, but at the same time, these writers are fucking horrible. So I just can't care.
Exactly. And no one did. And that's why for 6 months out of the year, out of the year of 2023, it was a glorious time where people where the world genuinely felt like it wasn't on fire for once. Because we weren't being constantly told it was on fire. Or by late night talk show hosts or, actors constantly demanding we pay attention to them on Twitter and what good people they are. And for 6 glorious months, we were free. The content had to speak for itself, and it did. No one went and saw the Disney films or the WB. You know what made it through the summer as the biggest blockbusters? There's Barbie, which I would argue is a terrible film, but at least it's passably at least it's fun to look at. And of course, Oppenheimer, both of which did not make this list because, as well, Barbie is I assure you, a bad film. At least it doesn't pretend it has some. At least at no point did its author pretend it was going to be anything else than a shameless feminist propaganda piece. Honestly, I like Little Platoon's review of Barbie. It's very, very interesting. I also think Stitch and Adam were right. It's a Barbie is in and of itself. So the conclusion I've come to about Barbie, actually, this is just me, is Barbie in and of itself is hollow. It has no actual message or actual discussion about its ideas. It's very much like it's so hollow that you project your own you project whatever you want onto it.
Now, if Mattel is in the mood for making more movies based on their toy lines, I want a Hot Wheels movie. Be something like those Acceleracers movies. Did you ever watch those, Clayton?
I can agree with that. No, they should do Speed Racer. Speed Racer style. Make it utterly ridiculous and just have a good time.
Exactly. That's what the Acceleracers movies were.
Oh.
Do you remember seeing those on Cartoon Network?
For sure. No. I remember Hot Wheels Battle Force 5.
I remember the name. I think that's later in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Acceleracers was like early to mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm. So with negotiations failing over again, for 6 months we were free, but Hollywood was still burning because nobody was because all the money they'd put into these projects with these writers and these writers themselves, well, they were bombing. And then Disney came out with The Wit, and then Disney had to go out on a big Disney Animation had to go out on one last failure. Wish. And the only thing I have to say for Wish is this.
You won't get a sniff without me! Go ahead! Make your choice! You're changing, all right. I hope you're satisfied. Ex-Prince Ali. I'll let you live here for free, and I don't even charge you rent.
Yeah, from everything I've gathered with that movie, it's just the most the blandest, safest, most corporate cookie cutter story you can come up with.
Yep.
Yeah, way to celebrate your 100th anniversary like that.
I know, right? It's from what I've also seen, it's like Easter egg the movie.
Yeah, so I know the protagonist dresses up like the fairy godmother at one time. Her talking goat wants wishes for Zootopia.
She has a fucking talking goat.
Yeah,
Why?
because every Disney movie, the protagonist has an animal companion, even when it doesn't serve the plot. See, Pocahontas had a raccoon and a hummingbird. Esmeralda had a goat. Let's see here. Mulan had a cricket and a dragon. Let's see. Kristoff had a reindeer. It's a very by the books movie.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
You
Rapunzel had a
ain't gonna
chameleon.
sniff without me.
What?
I said Rapunzel had a chameleon too.
Oh yeah.
Like chameleons don't live in Europe though, do they? They're tropical.
Yes, correct. Primarily tropical. As an honorable mention before we get to the biggest victory of 2023, you forgot about this movie.
Yes, I did. I forgot we discussed it earlier.
I was also addressing the audience. You all forgot this movie came out this year. I promise you did. Because this movie was forgettable. It came out in January.
Really, January.
And then of course,
Evident.
yes,
If
I
they
think
put it out in
January.
January, then even Warner Brothers had no faith in it.
And then of course, this is the biggest bomb of all, the death nail for the MCU. The proof in the pudding that at all Disney's he's bleeding about diversity and how everyone would love this movie. He was silenced. As the Marvels, a sequel to Captain Marvel and Secret Invasion, which was the least watched MCU show on Disney Plus. This grosses the lowest MCU box office ever with only $205 million. A far cry from what they needed to break even, and a further cry from what they needed to make a profit. I think the numbers I've seen on this film is between is it had like a 270. Oh, hey, look. So 200 274 so like a $219 million budget. But total 274. So probably, given Hollywood likes to sweep certain things under the rug and not, it's a shady business in Tinseltown. So let's bump this probably 305, 306 million. With a box office gross of only this of only 205 million. Damn, that's gotta hurt. We killed a nearly a decade-long film franchise for activism.
Actually, it's 15 years. 15 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a decade and a half long.
A decade and a half thrown away.
Oh, I'm sure there'll still be some more Marvel movies in the future. Though I doubt most people would care. The fat is dying.
Hmm.
Video game movies are now on the horizon.
That's either gonna be that's mm,
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for it. So I guess want to talk about any good movies that came out last year.
so. What was good that I saw? Oh, Ted Lasso season 3 premiered last year, and despite its moments of the um annoying message, the message just coming through, I thought it was an excellent season. Overall, overall a great, excellent season. Very interesting how they handled some of the characters. And I actually really liked. I actually really liked the ending. Which is not something I would say about a lot of modern films. Is like I like the ending of this thing.
Yeah. So I haven't seen too many movies last year, but from the ones I've seen, I really like the new Mission Impossible. That was done really well. Great action scenes, a really
Mhm.
good villain, and I can't wait for the second part. And I don't know if this is a popular opinion or not, but I actually really like the new Mario movie.
I never went and saw it, but I
Yeah.
have seen the clips of the star, which is the best character in the film.
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now. If you want to see it.
I actually do have. I might watch that later on Netflix then. But what do we have to look forward to in 2024? To
Dune
be
Part
honest, I'm
2.
not sure.
Yeah, I like just Dune. Looking forward to that. The new Godzilla Kong movie looks like it'll be just dumb fun action.
Hmm.
I don't expect anything deep with it, but looks like it might be fun.
Yeah, because thanks to the writer's strike, by the way, a bunch of projects got put back to 2025.
Oh yeah, is the new Deadpool movie coming out this year?
Yes, with oh right, I forgot, I forgot that at the end credit scene for the Marvels was
Oh yeah, the X-Men.
spoiled early to reveal the X-Men. How fucking hilarious was that?
Yeah, it makes you wonder where the fuck have they been? Where the fuck have they been all this time? If they're just
Yeah,
retroactively now in the MCU.
I can't wait because that in the next 2 or 3 years probably when nobody's watching the Marvel shows anymore, or Echo dropped.
Oh, oh yeah.
Nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody's gonna watch it. Like when it's gonna be like 2 more years. Here's where the backlog gets to come out, and then we'll see. Um, it's gonna be like 2 more years. The backlog needs to clear out, and then we'll see stuff that's probably not going to be in a superhero at all anymore. Be prepared for early to mid 2000s TV doldrums. TV and film doldrum. Be prepared for that. And consider that it's going to be 3 times worse. Because what will come out during that time will be garbage. Will either be garbage or a timeless classic. But there will be large gaps in between. Consider that it was during a writer's strike that Master of Disguise was made.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it was during the writer's strike that Master of Disguise was made.
Yes, I remember actually really liking that movie as a kid, but then looking it back on it as an adult, I'm just like, why? What's the appeal of this?
Yeah, I had the same thing happen to me with Zoom.
Oh, Zoom.
Yeah.
That's the one where Tim
I was
Allen's
like,
a
this is the
superhero.
greatest film ever. And then I watched it again. I was like 7 to from 7 to 10, loved Zoom. Hold on. When did Zoom come out? Was I 7 to 10 or was I a little bit older?
Probably a little bit older. I think that was a mid 2000s.
Two 2006. So it would have been like 11 or 12. Hold on. I was not prepared to do math today. Task, so far, from everything I've heard about the Sonic movies is that they are entertaining, but okay, but not great, just okay.
Yeah, that's right. Sonic 3 is coming out this year. So yeah, I can attest to that. The first 2 Sonic movies were perfectly okay movies. I enjoyed my time, but they're not peak cinema. I would say Sonic 2 is definitely the better one, but it still bugs the shit out of me that they still stick Sonic on Earth.
Yeah.
I was fine with them doing that in the first movie just to explain how he met Eggman in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish for the sequel, Sonic would actually go back to his home world.
Who knows? Maybe that's for number 3.
Yes, number 3's got Shadow and Amy.
Well, hopefully they do better with her than Sonic X, or she's just boy crazy.
That's how she is in the games, though.
Mm.
That's pretty much her character for most of the games. Like I remember, like in Sonic Heroes, so in Sonic Heroes, if you play as like Amy's team, there's a point where you meet Sonic's team. You basically have to throw them all off a ledge. But then beforehand, Amy says that there's no way out of marrying me, and then she proceeds to try to kill him.
Well, I went through that list actually a lot quicker than I thought I would. What games are coming out this year?
Yeah, Sonic
have
Adventure.
anything?
Yeah, I agree. Taskmaster, Sonic Adventure 2 is a great game. I haven't played in such a long time though.
It's on Steam, I think.
Yeah, I think I might have already bought it off Steam. I just need to download it. Yeah, interesting that they did. Interesting they're skipping Metal, Sonic, and Chaos and just going straight to Shadow. I think it would have been better if they saved him up.
He's the most popular character.
Yeah, true. Though considering Shadow's backstory in the games, I wonder how the movies would actually handle that. Since straight up, so how familiar are you with the game lore?
Not Not at all. Just assume not at all.
All right, well, so Shadow was created by Eggman's grandfather 50 years ago. And so he was being funded by the military. And so the military just ends up backstabbing him. So they raid the space colony where Shadow was created, and they shoot anybody who resisted. So the professor's granddaughter Maria, who was Shadow's best friend, ends up getting killed during the raid. And so in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow vows vengeance. So in the game, he's trying to get the Earth destroyed because the space colony has a cannon that's capable of destroying an entire planet. So he's trying to get all the Chaos Emerald loaded onto it to blow up the Earth. But then at the end of the game, you find out that the whole thing was actually the professor's plan. After he found out his granddaughter was killed, he went insane and just ended up rewriting Shadow's memory to make him want vengeance. Yeah, it's some dark shit. And the movies so far play it very safe. So I'm not sure if they would actually carry all that over.
Doesn't Knuckles like beat the heck out of Sonic?
Sometimes, yeah. Like, what do you mean? In the movie?
Like in the movie?
Yeah, they do get into a big fight at the end.
Who knows, Task? Maybe they will use Metal Sonic. Maybe they'll use Metal Sonic and it'll turn out to be the secret twist villain.
Yep. Only time will tell. So, you got anything else?
I am looking at the list of games coming out in 2024. Huh. Oh, there's a new Tekken coming out this year. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, I don't hear good things about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things about it either. Rugby 2024, if you were ever interested in rugby.
Nah, I'm not European.
Damn. Well, there is a game called Skull and Bones coming out this year, but then I looked and it's by Ubisoft, so I'm going to assume that it's going to be a nightmare. But other than that, I don't have anything else. So, you got anything you want to talk about, Caesar?
Oh shit. We didn't talk about.
2023 in review?
I was gonna say we didn't talk about Doctor Who.
Oh God. Okay. Ugh.
But I mean, that's not really Hollywood, though. So I guess we don't have to talk about it.
No, it's not, but it's still so. It was. I thought. So, if y'all don't know, I am a massive Doctor Who fan. I have loved Doctor Who since the very moment I saw the first episode. So I started with the 2005 reboot. So my favorite Doctor is David Tennant. Always has been, always will be. Smith does take that spot sometimes, but he's more of the fun Doctor. If I'm in a sad boy mood, I'm going with Tennant. But this year, 2023, was the Doctor Who 60th anniversary. And the people at the BBC decided intelligently to fire the last showrunner, Chris Chibnall, who along with Jodie Whittaker had basically ruined the canon of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
So ruining 60 years of canon in one episode wasn't enough. She's also one of the worst doctors ever.
So did you ever
Like,
watch a Jodie
objectively?
Whittaker run?
No.
Hmm.
Like I've seen clips of her acting and how she plays the doctor, and it's so bad. So bad. So bad. So there's that. But so they fired the two people who were incompetently making Doctor Who worse and brought someone back.
Brought
Heck,
two guys back.
they brought two people back.
Hmm. So we got David Tennant back as the 14th Doctor,
Correct.
and the show is being run by Russell T Davies again.
Who, if you've never heard of Russell T Davies from the show, he is the inventor of some of the best monsters that the show has. And he wrote one of the best storylines that there is in the 2005 Doctor Who. Task 100% watch from watch the 2005 reboot if you can find it. I don't know what streaming platform it's on. It might be on BBC, like something.
Yeah, I'd say watch it and then stop at the end of Matt Smith's run. That's a great way
No,
to cap off
'cause
the.
Capaldi's good.
Yeah, but when you put the entire show in perspective, I think the end of Smith's run's a good way to cap off the entire series.
That's true.
Because the Doctor is in his finale. The Doctor is on his very last life. He's about to. If he dies, he dies for good.
Yeah.
And then at the very
it
end,
looks like it's streaming on Amazon Prime. Task.
and so at the very end, Gallifrey gives him more regenerations.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see Capaldi. That's the first of his new regenerations. And so the story is over, but the adventure continues.
Yeah. But I would say Capaldi seasons aren't bad.
They're so
Not
fucking
the best, but they're not bad.
Capaldi's
They're not bad until Chibnall actually takes over, which is like Capaldi's last season.
Right. Yeah, so I dropped the
Aw.
series at the beginning of Capaldi's second season. I just didn't appeal to me. Like the doctor got drunk and brought a tank with him to like some kind of medieval festival. Like he has no regard for preserving the timeline. Yeah. Also, the Capaldi's first
The
season.
one with the Robin Hood one
No,
episode?
that's from his first season.
Oh yeah.
Also, Capaldi's first season, like the overarching story, confused the fuck out of me.
Yeah, it did me too.
So
Like it's not perfect, but Capaldi himself is such a compelling doctor that he makes up for a lot of it. He has like his second episode, like the second episode of his first season, I love that episode. The Formless. I love that episode because it puts him in a position. Because Capaldi puts because it puts Capaldi in a situation where he's basically in a room and has to monologue most of his scenes. He doesn't have anyone to play off of, so it's just him. And then when he plays off Clara, we already know that bond works. That works because he's had an entire episode with her. Like he saved her in the episode before that, in his like first ever episode as the Doctor. But we didn't through that because he spent most of the episode unconscious or ranting disorientatively. I don't even know if that's a word. I don't think it is. The second episode is, I would say, his introduction of of the kind of doctor he's going to be. So yeah, Capaldi saves a lot, in my opinion. There's some episodes he doesn't save. I hate the Robin Hood one, but like Capaldi saves a lot in his seasons. If you are able to, I would 100% say check out Doctor Who if you haven't seen it. Up until like however much of what your mileage may vary on Capaldi. But I liked him as the Doctor. If you enjoy Jodie Whittaker, perfectly fine. Just she's not really that good a doctor, I don't think. But once the tumors were removed from the heart of Doctor Who, we found out that the heart, we found out that what we were replacing those tumors with, the flesh we were replacing those tumors with, was also cancerous. Because if you haven't seen it, Russell T Davies actually liked The Timeless Child.
And
A
doubled down on
retcon
it.
ruining more than 50 years of television canon. He also proceeded to undo his own work. The Dr. Donna, which was a bittersweet, tragic, it was a tragic moment.
Oh God, I forgot. Yeah, he completely undoes it.
Yeah, for no reason other than we need to have the trans representation.
Yeah, that was
like
I get. Yeah, like he has she has a trans daughter. Like I would not take issue to it if her child was like a fully grown adult. But I think her trans child is what, a teenager?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, I think say she's like 17 or 18.
Okay, if it's 17 or
Which
18, I guess I can let it slide.
But it's like they have these lines which are hilarious. Like everything from the first, there's like the regeneration from like David Tennant's first the Doctor's first steps back into Donna's life. If it's all bad like shaming him. It is just like the first episode of the Christmas special this year is just how much can we whip the Doctor for being a man? How much can we whip him? And how can we humiliate him? And also the message. Also, Davros, who made himself as he was in the previous his canon, can now walk again because we can't have paralyzed villains.
Was it a present day Davros, or was it like an older Davros before he became like a cyborg?
I don't know.
But yeah, Davis's reasoning is just that
Davis,
the disabled villain, which I can't even think of any disabled villains from the top of my head.
Yeah, because the villain has to be threatening, which is why Davros is so impressive, because he is threatening.
Like, you look at Davros, you don't even think of a man in a wheelchair. You think of a cyborg. He's part man, part Dalek.
Yes, exactly. It's like,
and the Daleks themselves are on wheels. They don't have legs.
Also true. Also true. So that's the first one with a monster that is with a twist villain that is so obvious. It's like, why did you bother hiding this? You could have just made them the villain the whole time. Why did you bother? Then, of course, we get to the second episode. And honestly, if I can force myself through it, what I think I'm going to do a scripted video for these, and like go in depth. But the second special was utterly boring. Like, it didn't do anything. All it did was reinforce the timeless child. Well, a stupid decision
Yeah, no.
by Russell T Davies. But of course, the man undid his own work, so we have to consider that he might actually be he messed up in the head. And then of course the third, which was hey, you know that whole multiple universe, that whole, well, there we actually have a multiverse, but the walls between worlds are literally super thick and can't be penetrated by almost anything. Like, in order to do it, you have to match universal frequencies and do a bunch of shit, and it takes a bunch of power, like that kind of stuff. And the only reason we were able to do it prior was because the Daleks had done it once. And by once, I mean literally once. Like, all that, we're just going to throw it away because now we have a retired. Now, oh, David Tennant's Doctor is going to retire, and the new diverse they-them Doctor, who bi-generated from David Tennant, this was like, hey, we have regeneration. Why not fission? Begging the question of, okay, if this is possible for the Time Lords to do, which begs the question of, like, how does their, or, okay, well, how does the so this is how so if they can do this, how are they losing to the Daleks? If they can do this, why are there children versions of Time Lords?
Yeah, so, well, if I remember, I've seen the clip, so I think it's like Tennant Doctor said that this is supposed to be just a legend. It's like a myth. So I guess this is like a 1 in a billion chance. Though it still raises a lot of questions, though. So this Doctor that spawns out of him, this is still the Doctor. It's not like his son or something.
Correct.
Because I remember, because there was also an episode during the 10th Doctor era where he ended up having like a daughter clone.
Yeah, but that was because he's like, so that makes sense because that was literally his DNA taken and cloned. Like, taken, mixed with human DNA, and fast cloned. So it wasn't like, oh, he died and was regenerating, which is a biological thing for Time Lords to do, because according to the show, their exposure to the time vortex let them do that. But one of the key rules of time travel is the Doctor can't ever cross his own timeline. Like, there are certain places he just can't force get the TARDIS to go. But now there's two of them hopping around the universe. How is that? How are they not going to cross timelines?
Yeah, it's just a mess. I think it could still be salvaged, but you need a brand new writing staff. Because I mean,
I
I've
don't
already
think Doctor Who can be saved.
Yeah, well, not with the current people in charge.
I am not. I do not think Doctor Who can be saved, and I am sad. What was once a 60-year-long monolith of storytelling. Not great, not always great storytelling. The Absorbaloff exists. But of good, entertaining storytelling. You can watch the Absorbaloff and you can see that at the very minimum, very minimum, someone somewhere cared about making someone else's vision and making something that would at least entertain people. The only thing I can be when watching Doctor Who now is bored. And that is sad. But soon, ending on a high note, soon Hollywood and the Doctor Who writing staff, hopefully, will learn that the audience they are cultivating, the audience they pander to, don't buy their products, don't spend their money on you. And when they do, there will return good storytelling and good entertainment. And we have won. Those of us who demand more from writers, demand more from those who create art, or like movies and video games and everything. If we demand more, they hold themselves high. They hold themselves to a higher standard of quality. They will have to do it because they want to make them. They want our money. It's just going to take time for our opponents to realize that. But that is all I have. Caesar?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you are not already, please subscribe, as I don't know, some arbitrary percentage of you are not, of the people that watch this video are not subscribed. And keep an eye out for the community post. I will be posting that hopefully sometime this week once I get the official channel name and access to it and everything. So keep an eye out for that. And we will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day.